Your Getting to Know the Constitution is an assignment that is in Schoology. You will go to the Schoology assignment and you're going to see the assignment, and you're also going to see this PDF. This PDF is an outline and it is going to look familiar to you. We did use this outline for one of the other assignments from TCI. Then, once you have that open in view mode, you are also going to need to go to your mail, and that's in your upper right corner of Schoology. So since you have Schoology open, you might as well go ahead and get this open too. As I mentioned, the last few days we've been looking at the Constitution. We've been kind of stacking up on the explanation of it. You were just introduced to the document, and then you were looking at the outline, and then the last 2 days you were looking at the specific sections a little more closely in the book and filling out the assignment in your notebook. So now you're going to work on a slide from the Constitution. Everybody in here is going to be picking a portion of the Constitution. I'm not assigning them. And once you open up this link here, you'll see the message that talks about period 4, and you'll open up the PowerPoint for that. When you open up the deck, you're going to see a lot of slides in there, and you'll be able to choose from them. Now, it might be a little difficult because you don't remember what each slide is and what it means. That's why this outline is going to help you. Although, if you have your textbook that I asked you to bring, your textbook also has these pages in the back, so you don't even really need the outline. You can just use the textbook and use the pages from the back of the textbook. You are going to eventually, at the end, when you're all done with it, you will download your slide. I will give you those instructions, and you'll post it to Schoology. It's a very easy step in PowerPoint to download that slide and then attach it to the Schoology assignment, and then it's submitted. The other piece to this is credit will be given when shared in the class for that slide. And you will be reading from your seat what the slide contains. I'm not having you come up and stand and talk in that way. It will be just presented. We'll talk about each of the slides. And at that point, when you're talking about your slide, everybody can be taking notes. And then the notes you'll be able to use on the test. So keep that in mind too. That will be our next step, the sharing stage. Now, I will go over the specifics on the slides, but if you are an individual that does not have your textbook with you, you can also use the TCI electronic book. There is a commentary in the back, and that is still going to be better than the internet. The internet is not going to give you potentially accurate information. The textbook from TCI is still going to be better. In order to open up the textbook Constitution, you need to go to unit lesson, and civic resources is all the way at the bottom. It's listed all the way at the bottom, similar to how it's in the back of the hard copy red book. And then you're going to look for Constitution of the United States. The only reason why you're using the TCI electronic book is if you do not have your hard copy textbook with these pages with you. Let's go to the slides. I was just adding the slide from the What Happened Today. These are the instructions. That just means that you don't have to have the What Happened Today slides open, these slides open, TCI, and the outline. That's why I was saying there's a lot of moving parts to this, especially if you don't have your textbook with you. So what do you need to do? This is all here from the What Happened Today. I just spoke about these. You'll notice that the slides, when you open them, they're already going to be pre-titled for you, but I don't have the specifics on it. That's why having the textbook, having the outline is going to help you better understand which one you potentially want to do. For instance, I might look here and say, oh, you know what, I want to do the judicial branch. And I think that word treason sounds really good to maybe learn more about it. I'm going to look for Article 3, Section 3. I'm going to go over to my slides, and as I go through them, Article 3, Section 3. Okay? And then there was a mistake on one of these, so I needed to change it. Okay, I'll have to. Please don't move the slides around. They go down in order, and they follow obviously the Constitution. So this would be the slide that I want to use, and the speaker notes are at the bottom. I have the speaker notes already pre-checked. When you open it, you should see them. They should not be collapsed. And I am going to type my first and last name on this slide, and that's how I claim it. You'll already notice you'll see some bubbles pop up here, and that means that students are on it. Doesn't mean that they've necessarily claimed it yet. Michelle, you can type your name down in the speaker notes. Just copy and paste it. Yeah. So when you claim it, put your name there you go, in the bottom on the speaker notes. And you'll notice that as you're going through the Constitution, I tried to use colors to show the transition. So, like for instance, you'll see the preamble. You'll see the preamble, and it goes Article 1, and then as soon as I go Article 2, I did a change of color just to kind of separate it. One of the other aspects you'll notice, it's not a typo, is that, for instance, Article 2 has clause 1 through 5, and then the next one has 6 through 8. And what I did was I spliced up them up because nobody was going to pick Article 2, Section 1 because it's too long. That means that nobody would want to get it. I broke it down into 2 smaller sections. Let me go over to another period in order to see what they have. Once you start typing, you should be deleting the instructions. You're explaining your own words. The Constitution states the way you explain the article section should be understood by someone your age. All right, so this is a good plagiarism one to look at. This person clearly copy and pasted because the Constitution states that they did use quotes, excuse me. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. Well, they did give credit to the Constitution, they've quoted, and then basically meaning that there is going to be a separation of powers. I'm going to add an S for them, between the Department of the federal government. And then they included their picture. So not too bad. This one actually is pretty thorough, and they show you the branches of government here. But the suggestion would be just to delete those. I do currently have the font at 18, but it should really be more like at 24. And you can see the difference in the presentation on the size, how much easier it is to read as opposed to it being 18. 18 is it's a little smaller The 24 is sweet spot. If you have to, you can go down to 20 if you need to. But 24 is best. There was another one. Okay, so like this one, yeah, we don't want this as the background. Okay, so don't be a dork. And you know what? I didn't say anything in the directions about putting a background, right? All I said was to explain it in your own words, the way you would explain it to somebody. If you had to explain to your friend what the portion of that Constitution was, how would you explain it to them? With academic language. Okay. I also have for you to include some sort of picture or clip art that represents your explanation. So again, this one is a good start. The only thing I would tell them is to increase the point size and then delete the instructions. So don't make it more than what it is. Don't make it really complicated. So respect. Oh, this one is a good one here. So this one here is doesn't really sound like it's a student speaking, and this isn't what a slide should look like. It doesn't, like when you see this, does it look inviting as a viewer? No, it looks like too much writing. It's even too much writing for me. So yeah, the picture, those little things like centering the picture, things like that. So that was a perfect comment because that is going to take me to the slide that we started to develop in my other class and last period, which is what are tips for a really great slide. So we started talking about some of these, and we can add that. I'll add that comment. So explain clearly, but be brief. 24 point is best. Font that's easy to read. Don't do Pacifico or one of those that's like cursive and try and get fancy. Just stick to Times New Roman or Arial. It's a lot easier. Background. If you're doing a background, make sure the text is readable. If you're doing a picture, keep it in proportion. And let me share, for instance, what we were talking about. So like this one, if you're stretching a picture, stretch it from the corner. Okay, that's keeps it in proportion. And if we do like stretching from the handle in the middle, look at poor Dr. Martin Luther King. He looks all stretched out, looks like he's an alien. Okay, so try and use the handles, not try, use the handles in the corner in order to do the stretching. And so remember, background is not required. You're not going to lose points if you don't have it. And then be aware of your layout. Example, center photo. Make it appealing. Make somebody want to be looking at it. Any other things that we missed? And quality photo. If you're picking something that's all blurry, that's not very appealing. So we covered the outline, we covered the slides, we covered the tips, we covered where to go in the book for the document. Plenty of moving parts, and that's what you'll be using to complete the assignment.